This is the Phil Willis photo, 7/5. You have the presidential limousine, Queen Mary in front. JFK appears to be okay, so this must have been a second or two before he was hit. You have the follow-up Secret Service car with 6 Secret Service men. 2 at the side on the left, 2 at the side on the right, 2 at the rear, 2 in front. Sam Kinney's driving on the left. You can just see the back of his head. Emery Roberts is on the right. You can see the top of his head. And then there are 2 guys in the middle. They're not Secret Service men. They are JFK's aides. Dave Power on the right and Kenny O'Donnell on the left. To the left you have 2 cyclists, to the right 2 cyclists. You can just catch the white helmet of the lead rider there. I think this is Bobby Hargis here on the left. Jackson, Cheney, Martin. I might have got them a bit muddled up there. So if you look at the guys here, they look pretty relaxed. But if you look at Kenny O'Donnell, let's take a closer look. He looks a bit uptight. Is that just because of the visit in general, or does he have some foreknowledge? You can see him clutching the panel in front of him. He appears to be on the edge of his seat. He's seems to be paying close attention to something that he's seen or what he's expecting to see. You can see Abraham Zapruder here and his secretary. That looks a bit unusual. They're the only people who stood on any walls. Here's the Newmans. Then you have 2 people here on the steps. Normally you might not think anything of it, but if I show you the Mary Moorman photograph, there are 3 people here. So why can you only see 2 people in the Phil Willis film? I don't think this person here is big enough to cover up the other person that was there. So why is that? There's a lamppost here. Has something been done to the picture in this area here just to throw people off, or is it actually hiding something, possibly action coming from further down the Knoll, possibly from under the overpass? In a previous visual, we suggested there might have been vapor trails coming from an upward angle. Personally, I think that's more likely than upward shots. If there were a train going over, you might think they could have come from there. Although, as I will show in a later visual, I don't actually think there were shots coming from a train, because I don't think there was a train going over the overpass at that particular moment. Then that would leave from the corner wall, possibly from over it or in between any gaps that might have been there, or from behind the picket fence. And with this greenery here, I think this is the more likely location, with camouflage obscuring the vision of the Secret Service men or anybody else. The Phil Willis film this picture is famous for what they call Black Dog Man. Personally, I don't believe this is anybody there. I just feel this has been added if we believe that there were people shooting from the grassy knoll, if Oswald were a patsy, then I don't believe these people wanted to be caught. So if you're going to be shooting from here or from the pergola, I think you're going to be seen. And also when you're getting away, people are going to be seeing you, they're going to stop you. So personally, I don't feel there were shots from here or in the pergola. I feel behind the picket fence where this bush is would have been the optimum location. So let's move on to the Willis 9/7 photo. So let's just pan out a little bit. This gives you a better view of the triple overpass that we were referring to in the previous photo. Some people think there was a train going overhead at the time. Actually, that's what I thought too, but with a closer look, I think people have been deceived by what's going on in the background. So if you take a closer look, this is the triple overpass here. You can see the railroad workers looking over. Actually, in the background, this is the Stemmons Highway, and I think you can just see the tops of the vehicles. I think this is possibly a trailer with a cab. And then there are buildings in between the triple overpass and the Stemmons Highway. And as I will try and show you in the Mark Bell film in a later visual, I think this creates an optical illusion of a train going over the triple overpass, whereas in fact it's the moving traffic on the Stemmons Highway. So let's just pan out a little bit more. So this man has been identified as Jim Hicks, who would subsequently be put in a mental hospital for reasons I'm not clear about. But if you look at the rear of his left leg, he's either got very big muscles or that's padding. So let's just take a closer look at that. And in his back left pocket there's a bulge and something sticking out at the top that appears to be some device. And if you take an even closer look, you can see there's a wire there, which would indicate he has a radio or a walkie-talkie or something. And he's obviously taken an interest in what's going on over on the grassy knoll. But similarly to these men in front, he doesn't seem to be showing any interest in crossing the road, which to me is a bit unusual. You can see these people here, they look to be crossing the road. The Bushka lady, I think she eventually does cross the road, but similarly to previous visuals, she sticks out in that she's stationary, not in motion like everybody else around here. I also wonder about these four people here, possibly this guy here as well. Who are these people here? Maybe I'm imagining things, but again, they don't seem interested in crossing the road, but they're curious about what's going on over there. And I would suggest this appears almost like a military walk, marching. And I wonder if this is the same person that Fletcher Prouty identified as Edward Lansdale in one of the famous Three Tramps photos. So are these people here, are they looking over because they want to know what's happened, or are they concerned about somebody, if they've shot from behind that fence, getting caught? Let's take a closer look across on the knoll. So these people are running towards the far end of the picket fence. This guy's sprinting. He's sprinting past the guys on the steps. That looks to me as if there are only two guys there on the steps. So again, what's happened, if it is just two, what's happened to the third guy? And why is he running there? Did he see something? Has he been told to run there? Is he following this bloke here? So let's have a look at this guy here. This looks like he has white apparel on his head, which I think suggests is a police motorcyclist. And as he had dismounted and his three fellow team members had gone off to Parkland, I think this is Bobby Hargis. I guess it could have been somebody from another team, but this is pretty soon after the shooting. I think this is Bobby Hargis. Some people have said he didn't run up the knoll, but I think this shows he did. Did he think shots came from here? Somebody told him they came from here. Or, as some people have speculated, was he the assassin, and is he running up here to pass his weapon to somebody that's waiting to collect it? Personally, I'm very skeptical about that view. Firstly, because he was situated to the left of the limousine, and if we think shots came from the right, then it's difficult to imagine he would have been able to get around to take the shots, unless the driver of the limousine positioned in such a way that it made it possible, or as some researchers have stated or suggested, the Zapruder film was cut by as much as 11 seconds, which might have allowed him the time to get around to the other side of the limousine. Personally, I'm very skeptical about that, because why would he have wanted to dispose of a weapon here when he could have disposed of it on the way to Parkland, for example? Or could it have been that one of the other cyclists was the assassin, and they'd passed him the weapon to get rid of as a sort of a smoke screen? Another theory could be that, I think some other police officers were soon on the scene. Could it have been that if there were shooters on the knoll, they were dressed in police uniforms, or they might even have been genuine police officers, and by the police officers running up the knoll, they allowed the assassins to blend back in with their colleagues or fellow uniformed people, or even to have blended the murder weapon back in with any other weapons that were on the scene. Phil Willis, I think, believed that shots came from the knoll, so apparently he was apoplectic when The police officers were then diverted to the Texas School Book Depository. It's not clear who gave the order to be diverted up to the depository. Apparently, a description of someone resembling Oswald was given out at 12:45 on the basis of an anonymous tip-off. So, was that to allow the assassins on the Knoll, for example, to get away, as police resources were sent to the Texas School Book Depository?